Good morning. Welcome to the Boise Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. We are a spiritually diverse, justice-seeking, religious community proclaiming the power of love at the core of our living tradition. Love of neighbor, love of ourselves, and love for our planet. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Whatever faiths you have known, if any, you are welcome here. Whomever you love, however you identify, you are welcome here. Everyone is welcome here. So, happy Pride Month. So, although Boise's Pride Festival doesn't happen until September, we honor it during this month of June, which commemorates the early beginning of Pride that grew out of the Stonewall Rebellion in New York City in June 1969. Pride celebrates the beautiful rainbow spectrum of sexual orientation and gender identity, owning the pride instead of the shame in identity, and in the beautiful diversity of human beingness and expression. Pride reminds us of our commitment to our Unitarian Universalist values, honoring the inherent worth and dignity of all people and our pursuit of justice, equality, and human rights for all people. And all are invited next weekend on the 8th to go help celebrate Nampa's second Pride event. Go ahead, online, search. I don't have the information, but it's going to be hard to miss. And if you don't like searching, ask somebody else who does like to search. I ask Jane, my child. I am Ann Sabin. I use she, her pronouns. I am your celebrant this morning, which is actually a co-position. Debra Smith has also stepped in to help. So we're both running the show today. And we are also joined by Judy Fjell and Katie Knight. So Katie Knight, a Montanan, is the curator of the exhibition Speaking Volumes, Transforming Hate, which is on display here in Boise at the Irma Heyman House, Albertson's Library at Boise State University, and the Wasmuth Center for Human Rights. The exhibit came into being in 2004 after a defecting leader of the creativity movement, one of the most virulent white supremacist hate groups in the nation, presented the Montana Human Rights Network with 4,000 volumes of their Bibles, books promoting extreme anti-Semitic, anti-Christian, and racist ideologies. In partnership with the network, the Holter Museum of Art invited artists to respond to, integrate, or transform the books in provocative ways. Artists from across the country transformed these hate-filled books into thought-provoking art that Wasmuth Center is thrilled to bring to our community. You can join Katie for a conversation and workshop tomorrow, Monday, June 2nd, at 1 p.m. at the Albertson Library at Boise State University. Judy Fjell is a Montana-based singer-songwriter and musical activist. Since the mid-1980s, she has been empowering singers in a variety of situations. Choral workshops, private lessons, group lessons, schools, camps, and retreats. Judy has written over 100 songs and recorded 20 albums on her own label, Honey Pie Music. Okay, remember that one. Got to go look that one up, Honey Pie Music. She is the founding director of Music Empowerment Camps, Women Making Music Retreats, the Cantabella Women's Chorus, and the Montana Women's Chorus. This is going to be a treat. Let's take a moment to welcome our online community. They're joining us via Zoom. And look around the room and wave to some folks you haven't seen or have never waved to before. And a special, special welcome to our newcomers, those joining us for the first time. We know it takes a lot of courage to check out a new community. And we're glad you've chosen us. We invite you to introduce yourself to us during our hospitality hour after the service or in the chat so we can warmly welcome you. And please, fill out one of our newcomer forms. They're found in the entryway or in the chat so that we can warmly keep you up to date with all that is happening here in the fellowship. And a reminder, our Inquiry series for newcomers, the cycle begins again this week in the Channing Room, the South Wing. And this is our series that introduces newcomers to Unitarian Universalism and to this fellowship, but anyone is welcome. Some of us hardy ones go to be reminded what the stuff's about. Okay, so we have construction going on. There's going to be directions a little later, so don't get confused on that, how to get from north to south wing. Oh, hey, that's the next paragraph. All right. Hey, welcome to our summer worship space. This turned out like way, way better than I expected. I had ideas. I thought it was going to work, but I walked in Thursday to work with Debra, and it was just beautiful. We have our own stained glass. And a reminder that while we are worshiping here, we won't be showing announcements on the screens. So if you have been getting them from the screens, you can contact Nancy Harms in the office, a phone call, an email. There are a lot of ways to keep up to date, the booth bulletin, but we do not want you out of the loop. So please let us know if you need some assistance or want to know what's going on. And got to do a little bit of housekeeping because we are in a new space, all right? So there are 3 emergency exits on this airplane. There are 3 exits, okay. So there are 3 doors into the sanctuary here, and the north and south doors crossing the courtyard are unlocked during service. The end here and there are unlocked during service, so when you park, you can come in either side. And RE will be held in the south wing or outside. And I had one other thing, and I can't remember it, and it'll be important later. Oh, emergencies. Just like when we're in the sanctuary, if we do have to exit, go out, get away from the building. If you have children or youth in RE, don't worry about them. RE facilitators will take care of them and bring them out with us as well. That's just the point I wanted to make. Okay, enough for the housekeeping. Whew. And I'm going to offer it up to Debra to lead us in a chalice lighting. Religious exploration. Thank you. That's the program our children go to. I appreciate that.
Each week we begin our worship service centering ourselves by lighting a flaming chalice, a symbol of our free faith, a beacon of hope, love, and justice. We light our chalice in solidarity with thousands of other Unitarian Universalists lighting chalices today across the globe, reminding us that we are connected to a great community of faith and love. As we light our chalice here in the sanctuary, I invite those in our virtual community to light a chalice or a candle if you have one nearby, and then share in the chat where it is you have lit your chalice this morning. We will now have our gathering hymn.
name's Judy Fjell. If you haven't seen those two letters together before, F and J, Fjell means mountain or rock, and fjord is the water that we are most familiar with. My grandfather and my great-grandparents came from Norway to Montana many years ago, and I grew up in a Norwegian-American community in South Montana. A place called Big Timber. The county is called Sweetgrass. And our mascot, because we had so many Norwegians, was the sheepherder. And the county was Sweetgrass. It was called Sweetgrass High. But in those days, of young Lutherans such as myself, we had no idea what sweetgrass was. So we didn't think it was odd at all that our mascot was the profile of a sheepherder with a pipe and smoke coming out. So please join me on this journey. Will you join me on this journey? And you have it on your sheets. She said I'd written 100 songs. Well, that's an understatement. I've actually written over 300 songs. So I got to change that somewhere, wherever we got that information. It's okay. I have written 100 plus. How's that guitar, Mike? I'd like to thank Mike and everybody else for doing the logistics this morning. That's the part I don't like to do. But this is a song that I wrote when I was working at Russell Lockwood Leadership School. Did any of you go to Russell Lockwood Leadership School? Amazing. Here we are. It was a program that the Mountain Desert District did to help people in fellowships, in particular, gather leadership skills. And I was involved in it for about 7 years. It was a wonderful program. So the Reverend Howell Lind asked me if I had any songs on mission and vision. Does that sound familiar, you use? And I looked in my repertoire and I thought, not really. So Howell, could you give me some song starts? He gave me the driest song starts I've ever gotten. And I came up with one of my favorite songs, so please join me. Will you join me on this journey? It gives me strength to take your hand. The road is long. Sometimes I'm weary, don't you know? Will you take my hand? We'll send love to the earth through the soles of our feet. We'll send love to the souls of all the people we meet on this journey. On this journey. We'll help justice roll on down to the sea, providing waves so that all can be free on this journey. On this journey. Will you join me on this journey? How I need to hear your voice. So many times I can't find the words. Will you sing to me with your lovely voice? We'll send love to the earth through the soles of our feet. We'll send love to the souls of all the people we meet on this journey. On this journey. We'll help justice roll on down to the sea, so that all can be free on this journey. On this journey, will you join me? On this journey, it lightens my heart when I see you smile. Sometimes I am discouraged. Will you just look my way and smile? We'll send love to the earth through the soles of our feet. We'll send love to the souls of all the people we meet on this journey. On this journey, we'll help justice roll on down to the sea, providing the waves so that all can be free on this journey. On this journey, will you join me? On this journey, I want you there beside me. There are times when I will lose my way. Ah, but you, my friend, you will guide me. Let's sing it out now. We'll send love to the earth through the soles of our feet. We'll send love to the souls of all the people we meet on this journey. On this journey, we'll help justice roll on down to the sea, providing the waves so that all can be free on this journey. On this journey. Now here's a little lower descant. I know you'll know the words. You don't even have to look at those pieces of paper. We'll send love. We'll send love on this journey. On this journey. With me again. We'll send love. We'll send love on this journey. On this journey. So now what happens is we get to sing both parts together. So I'll have some of you start, we'll send love, and then I'm going to go back into the other part and we'll sing it together. See what happens. 2, 3, 4. We'll send love. Yeah, use any note you want at the end of that. Because it's too low for some of you. Now sounds good, yeah. Octave above is good. We'll send love to the earth through the soles of our feet. We'll send love to the souls of all the people we meet on this journey. On this journey, we'll help justice roll on down to the sea, providing the waves so that all can be free on this journey. On this journey. Nice job, everyone. You know, there's an ugly rumor that went around a number of years ago that UUs can't sing. And I've been working, especially since working at Russell Lockwood Leadership School, to dispel that rumor and the terrible joke that went with it. Do you remember that joke? Why don't UUs sing? Because they're too busy reading again to the words ahead to see if they believe it. I guess you haven't heard that one before.
We come from and live on land considered sacred by many indigenous peoples, known as Bannock, Shoshone, Paiute, and many other tribes that lived here sustainably for thousands of years, inhabiting a vast region including much of Idaho.
We recognize the long history of the land, long before colonization, and acknowledge the ancient tribes whose names have been lost in history.
With this acknowledgement, we wish to demonstrate our commitment to dismantling the legacies of settler colonialism. We honor Indigenous peoples' connection to the land and support their right to sovereignty.
In the challenges of these truths, may we move through the world bringing justice in every way that we can, listening to the truths spoken to us by Native American peoples, making space for them to re-inhabit this place, and giving them back the resources they need to heal their communities.
Our spiritual theme for the month of June is living love through the practice of freedom. Today's service and sermon from our guests, Katie and Judy, explores the freedom of love and justice and how we take love to the next level. Today, we also celebrate our annual flower communion ceremony, originally conceived by Reverend Norbert Chopik, the Unitarian minister in Prague, Czechoslovakia, in 1923. Chopik described this new ritual as, quote, a new experiment in symbolizing our liberty and brotherhood, to confess that we accept each other without regard to class, race, or other distinction, acknowledging everybody as our friend. We will proceed with the flower service later, but wanted to just give you the framing of where we're headed this morning. So, as we enter this time of worship, let us take a moment and let's breathe together and fill your body with breath, knowing that our breath connects us to one another, to our bodies, and to our planet. Our breath offers us the opportunity to tune into our spiritual center, to listen deeply to our heart's own longing. Thou art the song of my heart in the morning. Thou art the dawn of truth in my soul. Thou art the dew of the roses adorning. Thou art the woven whole. Thine is the grace to be steadfast in danger. Thine is the peace that none can destroy. Thine is the face of the need-driven stranger. Thine are the wings of joy. Thou art the deep, to the deep in me calling. Thou art a lamp where my feet shall tread. The way is steep, past the peril of falling. Thou art my daily bread. Thine be the praise of my spirit uplifted. Thou art the sea to each flowing stream. Thine be the days that are gathered and sifted. Thou art the deathless dream. Our call to worship this morning is a protest and a party from Hannah Roberts Villeneuve. People sometimes ask, is pride a protest or a party? And the answer is, of course, yes. And why not? Why not rejoice as we resist? Dance as we demand change? Celebrate as we create community that delights in all of who we are. So bring all of it with you this morning. Bring your policy demands. Bring your glitter. Bring your Supreme Court broken heart. Bring your rainbow socks. Bring the emptiness you feel for our siblings gone too soon. Bring your Gloria Estefan remix. Bring your tender hope for change. Bring your most garish eyeshadow. Bring your spirit tattered and battered. By a world that seems insistent on choosing fear and hate, gather up all these things and bring them here to a place where we don't have to shoulder these burdens or celebrate these joys alone. Come, let us worship together. So with our promise of being and building a beloved community, we celebrate our commitments to being a multi-generational community, a community of generosity, and a community of care and connection. We're going to do things a little differently today because we have these beautiful altars filling up space. I'm going to invite Travis up for a time for all ages, but our children and youth, please stay seated with the congregation.
All right, we're going to talk about, how's everybody doing? Thumbs up, I want thumbs up from everybody. Thumbs up from people at home. Good job. All right, thumbs up. We're going to talk about the original flower communion. And then I'm going to get the kids here to help us for a sec. And then we're going to go outside. So the original flower communion ceremony in the city of Prague, in the country, which it was known then as Czechoslovakia. It's now broken up into two countries, the Czech Republic and Slovakia. In 1923, there was a new Unitarian church, and it was started by Norbert and Maja Čapek and their daughter. And all of them helped start the entire Unitarian movement in Czechoslovakia. Maja was ordained as a minister in 1926, and together they renovated a medieval palace. Yeah, I know, as a meeting place for their new church. In just 20 years, the church in Prague was one of the largest in the world, with over 3,200 members. Yeah. And more than 8,000 Czechs called themselves Unitarians. Yeah. But in the beginning, this palace didn't really look like a church. It had no bells, it had no spires, no stained glass windows, it had no organ, no piano, no carvings, no wood. Pretty plain. Plain and simple. And Norbert wanted to find a ritual that would bind the new people of his church closer together and honor the beliefs of the congregation. So like the traditional service of bread and wine that are used in many Christian congregations wouldn't really work for the Unitarians. So springtime came to Prague, and Norbert went out for a stroll, and the rains had come, and the birds are singing, and guess what was blooming all over the land in the springtime? Flowers, and the world outside was beautiful. So they thought, why not bring this outside world in? So the next Sunday, he asked all the people in the church to bring one flower, or a budding branch, or even a twig, And they asked, like, what kind? What should we bring? I said, what color? What size? It doesn't matter. Just bring something. You choose what you like. And so on the following Sunday, which was the first day of summer, all the people came with their flowers, different sizes and kinds, and all the colors of the rainbow, which we're kind of starting to see here already, right? Roses and daisies and poppies and leaves and bluebells and pansies and lilies and pink and purple and orange and gold. They were all the colors. And flowers filled the vases of the church, and it wasn't so plain and simple. And the Reverend Chopek spoke to the people while they listened. He says, we are all like these flowers. We come in different colors, we come in different shapes and different sizes, and we each need our own special, different kind of care. But each is beautiful, each is important, each is special in its own way. And together, by creating a bouquet, that is this community. And that's what we're going to do today. Our common bouquet would not be the same without the unique addition of each individual flower, and thus it is with our church, our community. It would not be the same without each and every one of us. And that's what we're going to do today. All of these flowers are representing us today. So we would like anybody here who has a flower, brought a flower, was given a flower, you're holding a flower in your hands, I'd like you to hold them up. And I would like all of our children to get up and walk around and collect the flowers and bring them up here. We're going to, thank you, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Oliver. Awesome. So walk all around. We're going to get all the flowers. Even if it takes multiple trips, we're going to get all of our flowers. Great one. You can put them in the vases over here or over here. Look at this. We've got a big bag of flowers over here. If somebody, look at all these flowers over here. We've got some back in the back over here that still need. Any other flowers that need to be gathered? Awesome. We've got some way in the back over by the books. Oh, great. Well, but looking great. Thank you. All right. Once you put all the flowers in, go back, have a seat for a second. We'll be exiting here in 1 second, but we're going to finish the story first. You had a drooping flower. Yeah. Ah, there we go. Sometimes you gotta. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for everybody who brought a flower. Thank you, kids. Look at what we've created. Right. Here's the congregation. Right. Mm-hmm. So let's hear the last part of Reverend Chopek's story and how this ceremony came to the United States. Norbert became such an outspoken voice of Unitarianism that in World War II, lots of people were being silenced for speaking out for freedom. He and one of his daughters were arrested, and they were sent to a Nazi concentration camp, and they perished. Even in starvation and torture, in the camps, he held a flower ceremony with his prisoners, finding whatever flowers they could among the weeds of the camp, and they testified to a beauty larger than themselves and a love that would outlive each of them. His wife, Maja, had come to the U.S. earlier, and she introduced the flower celebration ritual, which quickly caught on, and the same flower communion ritual that is celebrated today. In fact, it's celebrated in Unitarian Universal churches across the country. We love the way it brings Earth's colorful beauty into our midst and reminds us of the power of working together, despite all the forces that conspire to divide us. Each and every one of us is part of a community's beauty and purpose, and each and every one of us is valued and respected. And in addition to this flower ceremony, we call the flower communion, it reminds us that we can and we must work to shift our world towards greater peace, equity, sustainability, and justice. And only that way can we help liberate others. Now, thank you. Want to do the consecration of the flowers?
So whenever Čapek conducted his flower communion in Prague, he would say this prayer as he consecrated the flowers. And so I bring his spirit and the early Unitarians of Czechoslovakia with Čapek's words as a call to each of us to be brave even before we feel ready in service of our values. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask thy blessing on these, thy messengers of fellowship and love. May they remind us, amid diversities of knowledge and of gifts, to be one in desire and affection and devotion to thy holy will. May they also remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of thy most precious gifts. May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship, but may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed to do thy work in the world.
Children, it is time to join Travis for your religious exploration activity. I think you're going to, do you want to sing it? We have to do it a cappella. May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. Consummate musician. Thank you. Thank you.
And you started it in the key that I sought.
When we give, we say yes to the natural cycle of abundance in our lives, and we say yes to building beloved communities within and beyond our walls. We commit ourselves to do the work for justice and compassion for all people on the earth. Today, we share those gifts with our plate partner, the Women and Children's Alliance, as an expression of that commitment and living out our faith in the world. Here to speak about the Alliance is Zoe Newman.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Zoe Newman, and I'm with the Women's and Children's Alliance, or the WCA. and we are a pillar nonprofit in the community. We've been here for over 115 years now, and we provide free trauma-informed wraparound care services to provide safety, healing, and freedom to survivors of domestic abuse and sexual assault. This is an issue that unfortunately is highly prevalent in our community. Even this year, we are now for several years running. Domestic abuse is the #1 cause of homelessness in Idaho. And so even though this is an issue that happens behind closed doors and in privacy away from the eyes of your community and neighbors and loved ones, it is still affecting all of us on a really greater scale. So I'm very grateful that you here at Buff have had selected the WCA to be your plate partner for June. It's really wonderful and it means the world to us. I just wanted to share a little bit about what we do, especially given the times right now that giving $1 really does mean more than ever at this time. And so at the WCA, 92 cents of every dollar goes directly to services for our clients. Some of those services include our 24-hour hotline that we have available, and that is the only 24-hour hotline for domestic abuse in Ada County. So anyone in Idaho can call it, or even across the country. We have a lot of people who flee from our fellow states around us to come here too. We also have a safe shelter as well, actually 2 safe shelters, and they are long-term care because we know that trying to recover from things such as abuse does not happen overnight. And so our clients can stay with us for as long as 7 months, which is really beautiful. We also have court advocacy. So we have our fellow court advocates in the courthouses in Ada County several days a week to help people walk through the processes and be companions and support during times of receiving, we have a different term for it now, but essentially a restraining order. So, and all of the legal findings that come with that, especially when it comes to families trying to be free from abuse. We have case managers as well, and financial empowerment too, and various other programs to support everyone. That way we know that it's a really holistic approach for healing and providing safety and empowerment from that abuse. We also do have programs as well, such as our prevention program. And so we work with our children in the community, various high schools and middle schools, to really start to build up that vision of having a community that thrives on healthy relationships. Since at the end of the day, of course, we're going to tackle the issue of abuse, but we also want to make sure that we grow and thrive and break those cycles of abuse as well and start from that core, which is with our youth. So I'm really, really grateful again for you all coming. I do have some pamphlets in the back, and it'll just kind of go through, especially if you're a visual learner like me, all of our various programs that we have and ways to get involved too. Of course, monetary giving is wonderful, but if you ever want to volunteer or do a drive of that nature, I have information on the back as well. So thank you all so much, and if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know.
Thank you, Zoe. As you know, there are many ways that you can give. You can participate in the plate collection that we will have in a few minutes. You can use the Vanco Giving app. You can go to our website and click Give. I invite the ushers to come forward. Our offering will be gratefully received. Now, those of you who have an excellent memory will be able to recite this. We have no no visuals for this today, but we will eventually. So, we bless these gifts so freely given. May generosity always be our companions as we walk the holy path towards ever greater compassion and beauty. I had to look and I wrote the thing. Please come forward.
So please join me. There are lyrics in your inserts. The song's called Thank You for Your Loving Hands. Thank you for your loving hands, your loving heart, your loving ways. Thank you for the gifts you bring into the world each day. And if you ever doubt yourself, remember us who love you well. We know the gifts you bring into the world each day. So thank you for your loving hands, your loving heart, your loving ways. Thank you for the gifts you bring into the world each day.
Well, thank you, Judy. That's so pretty. I think we should incorporate that into our liturgy. What do you say? Yeah, okay.
And at RUU in Helena, there are so many people who have come to love that song that they sing it as a family at bedtime.
It's a lovely sentiment. Okay, we'll give you credit. Each week we take time to acknowledge the many joys among us and to grieve our many sorrows and losses so that we might lift the burden for each other and receive the blessing of this community. It is through our sharing with one another that we forge deep bonds of community and connection. We begin today with a good joy. Greg and Valerie Duffy are proud to announce the birth of their granddaughter, Elowyn Catherine May Duffy, who was born on May 28th. Mom, Jade Duffy, and baby are both doing well. If you are holding someone in your heart this morning with a joy or a sorrow, I invite you to speak their name aloud into this community of love so that we may hold them with you.
Bryn.
May the arms of this community hold all of our joys and our sorrows, those named and those who remain silent and close to our heart. Let us together take in a deep breath and out, releasing the sorrows of the world that the world knows too well, and finding comfort in the companionship with one another. Recognize that you are part of a whole and holy community where joy and woe are woven fine.
Good morning. It's so great to see
a really full room. And thank you so much for inviting us here. Judy and I drove down to Boise on Monday with a big truck, 15-foot U-Haul, towing a trailer. On the trailer was her little car so that we can get back home. And it's really been such an inspirational and uplifting joy to be here with you in Boise, even though what we had in the truck included some pretty horrific material, those white supremacist neo-Nazi propaganda books. I've talked about this project a lot, and I'm trying to think about just the key points that I can share with you this morning. And one of them is the idea of just saying yes. So I have a policy as an activist of saying yes when I'm asked to do something. That can really get out of hand. But 20 years ago, I was asked to help and lead a project that would do something with 4,100 of these horrible books, 13 different titles, all by the same author. About 4 years ago, I was contacted by Charlie Pagan. Charlie is here with Peggy Pagan, who they've been hosting us really beautifully for the last week, and will be here for a few more days. When Charlie contacted me and asked if we could bring our exhibition and education project to Boise, I said yes. I mean, why would I say no? And it's been quite a process of developing the exhibitions that are here now at the venues that Anne mentioned. She gave you a little bit of the backstory, how these books were acquired by the Montana Human Rights Network. And it was a 2.5-year process to transform them into thought-provoking art. As an activist and an artist myself, I've been making art that is focused on human rights education since I started making art in the 1970s, really, doing a lot of witnessing and passing on testimony from war zones in Central America, Colombia, developing human rights curriculum from my experiences in Southern Africa. But this project really has been a huge collaboration with organizing people everywhere it goes. We opened the exhibition in 2008. As I said, after about 2.5 years of working on it, it traveled throughout Montana, which has politics pretty similar to Idaho. Montana has a group of people who think it's a great place to create a white nation, and then many more of us who say no, it's for everybody. And then it traveled from coast to coast around this country. Not always on the road, but being at many wonderful places that really took advantage of the art, which is designed to catalyze dialogue. You have a lot of dialogue going on here, so it's very consonant with the UU intention, and it's completely in harmony with the mission of the Wasmuth Center for Human Rights. So it's been a real pleasure to work with that organization, where I don't have to convince people that the real purpose is to transform society. So this is social practice art. This is an art that is meant to decorate your home, although much of it's very beautiful. It's art that is intended to motivate us to create the social change that develops a society more just, more caring, more compassionate, and a happier place for all of us. When you look at this art, and I do hope you'll go and see it at each of these 3 wonderful venues, perhaps participating in some of the programs that are coming up and are listed on the Wasmuth Center's website, but also maybe just going with someone and having a conversation or reflecting personally on how we continue to transform ourselves and evolve in the direction we want to go.
I just want to wrap it up by identifying the strategies that the artists have used to transform these books into something positive. And the reason that's so important is to think about their strategies, is they are setting examples for how we can transform hate in society among each other. And so one of the key things that's happening in many of the works of art is the artists are giving a personal narrative about how they have experienced discrimination or observed it, and what their story is. Because when we listen to each other's stories, of course, we begin to recognize, like, oh, yeah, everybody is a complex human being with and are in the process of becoming more kind, we hope, moving in that direction. But what was the experience of the members of that neo-Nazi group? Why did they join? Even listening to them, which is difficult for me, as the mother of brown children and as the friend of people who are identified as evil in the books, even listening to them is really important. So the personal narratives, and even if it's not your own narrative, you can be a witness and testify and amplify the voices of others. So those are two strategies. Another is to collaborate, solidarity. And we've talked about that already this morning, but it's been fabulous to see the collaboration between the three organizations: Albertsons Library at Boise State University, the Wasmus Center for Human Rights, and the beautiful little Irma Heyman House that is run by the city of Boise. That collaboration is very powerful. And so we work together in solidarity. That's what many of the artists did. They did not work alone. They collaborated with someone to create art. Some artists just put two weird things together, two things that, like, why would you put the book Rahowa, which is a call to racial holy war, a war cry, why would you put that on a mousetrap, a giant mousetrap? And then it's a library table. So juxtaposing things that create cognitive dissonance helps people really dig deeper and think harder. And many of the artists have done these strange juxtapositions. And last but not least, you will find humor. My favorite humorist is the satirist artist Enrique Chagoya, a Chicano artist who is actually a professor at Stanford, and his very complex lithographs that are at the library will really make you smile, I hope, especially if you dig into the source material of these postmodern crazy pictures. Anyway, I could super go on, and I have, but I really want to thank my partner, Judy Fjell. We have been good friends since 1999 when I moved to Montana and joined the Montana Women's Chorus. And then we've been partners in life and in art and in activism for 15 years. And Judy said to me, Katie, as long as you want to keep working on that Speaking Volumes project, it's been 20 years now, okay, I will help you. So she is the teamster driving the truck. She's my artistic consultant and my spiritual companion in all of this, and also just makes me laugh.
One of my friends said that, Judy, your hobby is thinking. And so everything is a cue to start thinking about it. So Katie starts that, and then I'm gone. I'm off on some tangents here and there. In fact, I created the word tangentialize, which I thought was a lot kinder than, being spaced out on this and that. Anyway, it's really been a joy to connect with Katie, and we did connect in the beginning with singing and activism, and we keep on doing it. And I I hope we both get to live a lot longer together doing this work. How many of you recognized that first instrumental piece that I did? And what was it? It was actually God Bless America. Mm-hmm. And I'm on a very slow and subtle campaign to bring that song to the forefront of this country. Because a lot of people think that patriotism is a bad idea. And I think that since I came of age in the 60s, I questioned patriotism. I had my own wrestling with the flag and with armed forces and our position in Vietnam and our position as a nation. But I learned a lot from looking up the history of God Bless America. And the reason I love this song in the first place is because it's so friggin' beautiful. Well, it was written by Irving Berlin. Some of us don't know that. Some of you don't know who Irving Berlin was. But one of the reasons I want to bring it to America again for us to hear it is because the story is as important as the sentiment. And Irving Berlin, when he talked about this song, wanted to make it clear that it was not a song of, high uppity up patriotism. It was a song of gratitude. And Berlin's story is that when he was a young boy, he lived in Siberia, in Russia, in a Jewish village. And they came at night when he was 5 years old, and they burned his entire village down. So his family left. They immigrated. Can you imagine? And where did they come? They came to America. And then when he was 7 and his family was living in America, his father died. So he was left with a lot of responsibility to take care of the family. So he sold newspapers. And if any of you have seen that musical Newsies, that's a great story about the importance of those Newsies. Anyway, he sold newspapers, and then he started hanging out in saloons. And there he started hearing music that he really liked. So he taught himself piano and became one of America's most beloved songwriters. And he wrote with the Tin Pan Alley folks in the early 20th century. Many of the songs that those of us who immerse ourselves in jazz, we still love these tunes today. And then he had a song that was in a trunk somewhere. And when World War II was really building up, and Kate Smith, how many of you remember Kate Smith? Kate Smith had a weekly radio show, and she asked Irving Berlin to write a song for her radio show. And they wanted it to be about hope, and that what was going on in Europe was not going to happen here, and that we were grateful for the place we live. And so she asked Irving Berlin to come up with a song, and he looked in his trunk and started leafing through his old rejected manuscripts and came across this one. And he thought, this has got some hope. So he started writing new words to it, and that's the song he came up with, is God Bless America. And when she sang it on that radio show, it became an instant hit. Everybody in America was happy to sing that song. And my memories of it are good memories, but particularly when I was living in Big Timber, Montana, not that many years ago. And we had a museum there, which my parents helped found. And my aunt was part of the program I put together for Memorial Day. And we were all stuffed in the back room. And there's this old upright piano back there. And we all sang, "God Bless America." And I can still feel it, what it's like to be in a room full of people singing that song. So I would like to think that we can bring that kind of connection of Americans again. And I think that some of the people that I would like to reach are people who might be willing to sing this song, but might not be willing to have a politics conversation with me. So I believe in the power of music to bring us together. And so spread it wherever you can and sing it. I'm going to close my part because I see what time it is. And I'm going to close my part with a song that you have in your lyrics there. And it's a song that you don't know, but boy, did you pick up that other piece. I'm going to spread the rumor that Boise UU rocks. You'll catch on. This is another one that I wrote while I was at Russell Lockwood Leadership School. And we were talking about the importance of our UU identity. This chalice I wear. You got it? This chalice I wear, I do not wear it lightly. This chalice I wear tells of life and death, people who lived in the strength of their beliefs, and the martyrs who died in the strength of their beliefs. This chalice I wear, I do not wear it lightly. This chalice I wear, I do not wear it lightly. This chalice I light, I do not light it lightly. This chalice I light is a chalice of love, love for community, love for the world, love for one another, and love for myself. This chalice I light, I do not light it lightly. This chalice I light, I do not light it lightly. And yet this chalice burns with joy. I know that I am not alone. This community of faith is my home. This chalice that burns, I do not view it lightly. This chalice that burns, burns deep in my heart. Flames of compassion, sacrificial tears, a beacon of hope that shines through the years. This chalice that burns, I do not view it lightly. This chalice that burns, I do not view it lightly. this chalice I am. I do not live it lightly, this chalice I am. I carry to the world, vowing to live true to my beliefs, and knowing I could die for living true to my beliefs, this chalice I am. I do not live it lightly, this chalice I am. I do not live it lightly. And yes, this chalice burns with joy. I know that I am not alone. This community of faith is my home. Thank you, and thanks for singing that with me. It's wonderful to hear everybody singing it.
I do want to point out, I just observed that the last page of the lyrics at the bottom does have Judy's contact information. So, 1, you can take it with you, and 2, we don't have to pick up the lyrics left behind. No, anyway, it was very insightful of Nancy to add that, so thank her. So the flower communion. The story of the origins of this flower communion ritual is truly a powerful testament to the beauty of being part of this diverse, non-creedal faith tradition, where we all get to decide our spiritual path for ourselves, to pursue our search for truth and meaning, but to do it together in a community of welcome and care, with love at the center. We honor our history of speaking the truth, to power, of living our values of freedom and justice so fiercely, even when it may be dangerous. This ritual is an affirmation of our continuity with the generations of struggle for ever widening liberty. This flower ceremony, lovely though it is, isn't a diversion from ugly reality, but rather a gentle fierceness which proclaims that in the midst of sinister days, there is always the light of beauty. We are here not to recall something that happened, but to remember something that is happening, to remember, to put back together again. And in that remembering, may we put ourselves back together again, each as a part of the body of this community, out of many, one. Come on in, Travis. All right, our children are joining us, so we're going to get a moment. And today, we celebrate this ritual of solemnity and joy. Just like Norbert and Maya Čapek did with their congregation in Prague. In a moment, you will be invited to come up to the altar and choose a flower other than the one you brought with you, unless you really can't resist. But I also wanted to extend this ritual deeper into our theme of pronouncing blessings and invite each of you to choose a flower for the person who will be standing behind you in the line and give it to them. Instructions forthcoming. So you'll receive your flower from the person in front of you in line, and you'll choose a flower and hand it to the person behind you in line. In religious community, unlike in our consumer culture, we don't get to select the ways in which we are transformed. We simply are transformed by being in a diverse, beloved community. You receive the gifts people bring, and you bring gifts that will be offered to others. So for the hope of fluidity, how we're going to do this is the between aisles, I'm going to call them, is we're going to go row by row. Like these two are going to feed into that aisle, and these into that aisle, and you're going to come up, you're going to choose a flower to pass behind you, and then break off and go back into your row. So, and Deborah and I will be there to give the first person their flower. Don't worry, you do get one too. So, at that point, I would like our flower communion to commence. Look, you're just coming back in. You're going to go out that side. Feet up to the altar, and then break off in whatever direction your seats are and come back into your row. So, and we'll be there to help you. All right, thanks.
Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, where are you? In the sky song, in the forest sounds your cry. What to give you, what to call you, what am I? Many drops are in the ocean deep and wide. Sunlight bounces off the ripples to the sky. What to give you, what to call you, who am I am empty, time flies from me, what is time? Dreams eternal, fears infernal haunt my heart. What to give you, what to call you, oh my God. Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, take our hearts. Take our breath and let our voices sing our parts. Take our hand and let us work to shape our art. Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, where are you? In the sky song, in the forest sounds your cry. What to give you, what to call you, what am I? Many drops are in the ocean deep and wide. Father Spirit, where are you? In the sky song, in the forest sounds your cry. What to give you, what to call you, what am I? Many drops are in the ocean deep and wide. Sunlight bounces off the ripples to the sky. What to give you, what to call you, am I am empty, time flies from me, what is time? Dreams eternal, fears infernal haunt my heart. What to give you, what to call you, oh my God. Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, take our hearts, take our breath and let our voices sing our parts. Take our hands and let us work to shape our art.
You can teach cats to be herded. I'm a geologist, and all I could see was the convection pattern of lava under the earth, the way it's in the textbook versus what really happens. So, all right, a prayer and meditation from Norbert Chopik. All human beings are created in the name of joy and happiness. but thousands of troubles surround us, tormenting us with sadness. If a person cannot see beauty in the world around them, then troubles and sadness tie them down. The beauty of the clouds floating in the sky, the beauty of the spring rain, the beauty of flowers, the beauty of friendship and love. May people see that beauty. May true humanity spread out in human hearts. May we all get our daily bread. May people forgive each other their trespasses and not bring each other into temptation through hatred. May peace spread out across all the earth. Amen.
So there's another song on your sheets. It so happens that all of these songs that I have led today were ones that I wrote at Russell Lockwood Leadership School. So, except for Thank You for Your Loving Hands, that has a whole nother story. But Flowers in My Pocket, I wrote it for a flower communion that we had at Russell Lockwood Leadership School. And I invite you to sing it. It's one that you might recognize the tune because we folk singer types we're dangerous. We'll steal tunes from each other, and we think the copyright business is a crazy business. So why don't you rise as you're willing and able, and we'll sing this, and then is everybody going somewhere to eat? Yes. Right across next door? Okay, so let's sing this, and then we'll have the closing blessing. I'm going home with flowers in my pocket. I'll be humming songs all along the way. And as I travel, if my cup is ever empty, I'll remember the kindness shining in your eyes today. And don't you know your love's gonna keep me from stumbling when my feet forget the rhythm of my soul. And your sweet, simple words of forgiveness are gonna fill me up when I'm feeling less than whole. I'm going home with flowers in my pocket. I'll be humming songs all along the way. And as I travel, if my cup is ever empty, I'll remember the kindness shining in your eyes today. And you've told me I don't have to be a martyr or try out for sainthood anymore. I can just toss a pebble in the water and see how the ripples touch the shore. I'm going home with flowers in my pocket. I'll be humming songs all along the way. And as I travel, if my cup is ever empty, I'll remember the kindness shining in your eyes today. And you know, when I listen to your stories, I thought you made them up 'cause they were mine. And from the corner of your eye, you caught me crying. What kind of fool would leave this all behind? I'm going home with flowers in my pocket. Oh, yeah. I'll remember the kindness shining in your eyes today. Thank you, Boise.
Friends, I invite you to place your hands over your heart for our closing blessing. May your love be like perennials, rebounding year after year, after snow and driving rain. May your love be like bounteous annuals that flower for one brilliant season and remain in our memories. May your love be like the flower of the cacti, the desert plants, those that defy summer heat and lack of water. And so may your love flourish during drought and hardship. May your love be as the bouquet tossed into the air by a bride full of expectation. May your love flower in the cracks of the sidewalk. May you be astonished by all the places love grows. May it be so. Blessed are we all. Go in peace.